Welcome to the Heart of the City Regina Downtown podcast series, episode 4. I will be your host, Dominika Denev, Manager of Marketing Communication for Regina Downtown Business Improvement District. Today's guest is Morgan Shoquer, one of 4 managing partners of the Cure Kitchen and Bar. The restaurant is located on 11th Avenue in downtown Regina. Welcome, Morgan.
Hello, thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. How's your day going?
So far, so good. Obviously, a little bit different schedule than normal, but it's going well.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to dive into some of those differences here very shortly. So why don't we start it off with you summarizing what the restaurant's all about? So the Cure Kitchen and Bar, like I mentioned, is one of our downtown restaurants. It's located on 11th Avenue. And I'm just wondering if you just want to share with our listeners what the culinary style is all about there.
For sure. We're a relatively new restaurant downtown. We've only been there a little while, and we're locally owned, and we really try to showcase other local products as well as local talents, and give a bit more of an urban vibe. We try to create dishes that are unique but still familiar to Saskatchewan residents. You know, your favorites with a creative twist. And our head chef is originally from Mexico, so he likes to throw a traditional Mexican flair into a number of things that we find on our menu. And he's a stickler for making from scratch. You can't buy anything and and bring it into that restaurant. He insists on making it all, which is fantastic. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better scenario. So it's a lot of unique dishes and a lot of creativity coming out of there.
That's awesome. I actually didn't know that. And that's funny to say that because that's why your enchiladas are so darn good. I think those guys are like the way they look. And then when I ordered them the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, these are like heaven, heaven on a plate. So amazing. So you said you've only been downtown for a little while. When did you guys, I can't remember exactly when you joined as a member. Do you remember when you moved downtown?
Well, we moved into that building in January of 2018, but we did most of the renovations ourselves amongst our partners and our friends. So it took a little bit longer than anticipated, and the restaurant opened in fall of 2018. So we've been there just about a year and a half.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I love it. It's one of my favorite spots. So that's wonderful. And you guys offer to, just to mention, normal circumstances, you did offer brunch, and you were kind of open like Sunday through Saturday and have lunch and dinner options as well, correct?
Yes, we have an all-day menu that runs from 11 a.m. till late, and then we also do a feature dinner menu that runs only in the evening. And on Saturday, Sunday, we have brunch that runs all day as well.
Awesome. Okay. So with the current situation then, how have you had to adapt and kind of change what the Cure would be putting out there for anyone to order for takeout, or if you do delivery options? So we just want to kind of outline what you guys have available right now.
Yeah, we've kind of tried a few different things since closure. As everyone is, our restaurant is physically closed, but currently we're working on just delivery. So we do our own delivery ourselves, and we offer heat and serve kind of meals. So we have a baked pasta and a chicken enchilada dish. So they come in a big pan, they feed 2 to 4 people, and you just take it home, throw it in the oven, and it's ready in 15 minutes for dinner. So we've been running those at the moment. We have a few small things. We do dessert and wine and that kind of stuff. And we just bring it to your door, contactless delivery around 4 or 5 o'clock every day. And yeah, it's definitely a limited menu in comparison to what we're used to, but it's been a little bit easier to control in that way.
Absolutely. So since the provincial state of emergency, you've already explained you've had to adjust. Obviously, you've closed down your restaurant and just offering the heat and serve options with contactless delivery. What else have you had to change as a business, you feel, to kind of adapt and pivot to what we're currently experiencing right now?
Well, we've definitely learned to think on our toes, because things, information has been changing so frequently. So the biggest thing for us was closing the restaurant. That was a big struggle, and a big concern for us was our staff. We did remain open as long as we did because we wanted to ensure that everyone was aware of their situation and was prepared financially before the restaurant closed. And just adapting to what is needed in the community. So what kind of services are people looking for? What types of food? How comfortable are they with pickup versus delivery, and different payment options. And there's been a lot of weighing different options and trying different things, and then seeing what it is that the public wants, and going forward with that.
Awesome. And you finding that the heat and serves have been really, everyone's been enjoying that option and finding it easy to warm up things themselves and not have to cook a full meal.
Yeah, so far it's been going well. One thing we find that's nice about it is that, if you're still working in particular, you can be exhausted by the end of the day, and the last thing you want to do is go home and cook a meal from scratch.
Yeah,
So with this, you can just throw it in the oven real quick, and it's easier on our end because then we don't need staff there all day prepping individual meals. We can send out a whole big delivery all at once, and everything's ready to go.
absolutely. Yeah. And you kind of mentioned when we discussed coming on the podcast, how, after having to adapt and all these different things that you've had to do, you find that the community, other than, not just people who are buying stuff from your restaurant, but also other restaurants within the community have kind of grown together more and kind of been working together. Did you want to kind of touch on that a bit and just share your experience?
Yeah, it's been fantastic to see the way that this has brought everyone together. I mean, it's the one really positive thing I think that has come out of this. There's been a lot of conversation between many restaurants, not only in the downtown area, but in general in the city, and a lot of conversation about, what you're doing to adjust, and if that's hard or not, and how we can work together as a group to help promote each other as well,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of restaurants that are offering different styles of takeout or delivery, and different styles of meals. So seeing, a restaurant a couple blocks down sharing us on Facebook, or anything like that, is so great to see everyone coming together and really helping to promote the restaurant community as a whole, and
Absolutely.
small business in general. I mean, not necessarily restaurants, but just seeing the way that everyone has come together, and not only sharing and promoting it, but as well as buying product. I've been buying from a handful of local restaurants more cautiously or more consciously than I was before. And I think that a lot of people have been buying from us as well, just as a way of showing solidarity and support.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. I like that. Um, is there any advice that you'd want to put out there? I didn't really put you on the spot maybe, but is there any sort of advice that you could give like a fellow restaurant owner or anyone out there that, might be feeling the same, but feel like they have no one to go to or don't know what to do? Maybe they're closed right now and, you could see potential in them, but they just haven't seen it themselves. Like, is there anything you want to give for advice to anyone?
I think my biggest advice would be to take it day by day. We have brainstormed so many ideas that by the next day it was no longer an option. So
Right? Yeah.
I think that it can feel really overwhelming when you think you have ideas but you don't know how to get them out there.
Yeah.
But talking to other restaurants has really helped. Even people that we didn't necessarily connect with before, just reaching out and asking other people's opinions has been really great. And following the advice from the downtown bid, I mean, the help that everyone in that area has given out to us has been really great, and they seem to have a lot of valuable information, and really good sources for information as far as financial help and that kind of stuff. So I would say definitely listening to them has been helpful for us.
Oh, I'll act, I am more than happy to share that with the team. So they'll be very pumped to hear that. It's nice, when you're working together and, we were talking about that, you and I, before this, that working long hours and just trying to figure out how can we adapt ourselves, right, as a bid, and what do our members need and what will help them through this time to make it easier. So you're not having to worry about, you know, possibly all the financial stuff that's coming out in the news and all these places that you might need to send your staff, like help kind of put that in one central place so that you can focus still on your business and how to adapt to the curbside or takeout or do shop online when people don't have options, where you can really focus on your business, but we can help alleviate the stress of like the noise that's out there with everything going on. So I'm really happy to hear that that's been helpful. So makes us
Oh,
happy.
for
So
sure.
yeah. um,
And you're right, there's so many different sources and so many different things happening at once that it can get very overwhelming. So it's nice to have someone to condense it for you.
Yeah. Well, and some of it, if you're not used to reading that terminology either, like some of the stuff I know I hear sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other over my head. I'm like, I don't even understand what they're talking about. Right. Like, so to have someone that really understands that ins and outs of like how businesses run and stuff like that. So yeah, our executive director, she's been working really hard with other bids and just within the community and with government and officials and stuff, just to try to help advocate on behalf of the businesses. So I'm glad it's all working and is very useful. So that's great to hear. There is one thing you didn't touch on that I think is super exciting that you've, I can't remember if you were kind of doing this pre-COVID or not, but you mentioned the other day that you were working on a little merchandise line for the Cure. So I didn't know if you want to chat about that a bit.
Yeah, so we currently have toques and t-shirts available for merchandise, which we do deliver at this time. But we make them all ourselves. We have a little bit of a screen printing workshop in our basement at the Cure, and a couple of the partners get together and make all those shirts for sale and toques and whatnot. And now, obviously, with this slowdown, we have a little bit of extra time on our hands. So we've been down there brainstorming what types of new products we can make, and if we can have different designs or different styles of clothing. So we've been down there working hard, trying to see what kind of things we can come up with. So hopefully in the coming weeks, we'll have some new items available for sale as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to get myself some Cure branded stuff. That'll be awesome. Maybe I'll have to come back on the podcast and share some of that once you have it live where people can purchase. We can do a call where we can show video and we can show some of your products. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Did somebody have the expertise from doing that before? Like I know when I was younger, my dad used to try to silk screen in the basement and stuff. Like does one of the owners know how to do that quite well? Or?
Yes, one of the partners, Kelly, she has some experience in screen printing and in design and in making her own clothing as well. So she's been leading the charge in that department
Oh, awesome.
and teaching us all a thing or two.
Yeah, that's sweet. I love it. So as we're like just coming to the end, is there anything else you wanted to have as a closing message to anybody or anything you may have felt you forgot that you want to mention before we end the episode?
I think just that we're really grateful for not only our regulars that have been so supportive in this time, but as well as new customers and the community in general. I mean, it's been really great to see the support that everyone's been showing in a time such as this.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast today and being open and honest and sharing some of the insights that your business has kind of learned and had to adapt with and just kind of be there for support for anyone else who may need it. Before we wrap up, did you want to just let everyone know where they could follow your business if you're on social media or anywhere in particular?
Yes, you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at The Cure Regina. And we post our menus weekly as well as daily on both of those formats. We do have a website, which is thecureregina.com. However, there's less activity on there these days, but you can see our regular information on there as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Morgan. And I'm just going to throw it out there and recommend try the enchiladas. They are very good. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks for having me.